John Medved has now joined the race for a vaccine, and I spoke with him from Jerusalem. John Medved, great to see you there. Now, you've got eyes on the research and tech community, really from Israel to Silicon Valley. What's happening out there in these times of shutdown?
Well, it turns out that the pace of innovation worldwide is unprecedented. I've never seen so much activity, so much progress, not just in the science, but in bringing real tech solutions. So yesterday, for example, we just announced an investment in a new vaccine company called MigVax of $12 million. And the response has been unbelievable. But in addition to that, we're active in telehealth, in companies that are doing new testing technology, companies that are trying new solutions that actually kill the virus. There are software companies who are using robots to essentially fill in the gaps during the crisis for writing software. It's extraordinary what's going on.
Yeah, so you're really talking about a renaissance in terms of the tech sector. What sort of areas? You've outlined some, but it's really health and yeah, the health sector that's seeing a lot of this.
It's clearly healthcare, and the head of the WHO said that there was really sort of a market failure where investors had failed in the past to really give enough attention to vaccines, to getting ready for pandemics. That myopia is over. People are focused, they're writing checks, entrepreneurs are creating ideas, but it's not just in healthcare. What's happening now is that many of the trends that started years ago, whether it's distance learning or working at home or e-commerce or delivery services, these have just entered warp speed as a result of this crisis. And there are many companies that are now pivoting and becoming extremely relevant as a result of the crisis. They're not necessarily healthcare because they're simply addressing the new normal, which I'm afraid is here to stay.
Okay, so really interesting. This renaissance is actually in venture capital as well, as you say. How are we going there, though, in terms of tech's ability right now to keep up with all the new demands of working from home?
Look, I think it's a really mixed bag, because there are certain tech companies, those who are engaged in travel services or co-working, anything entertainment or sports related, they're in deep trouble, right? They're shut down like the rest of those businesses, and they are struggling to stay alive. There are companies that are addressing these new sort of social distance trends, or in the healthcare area, they're doing great. And then there's a lot of companies in between who are struggling to cut their costs and trying to figure out whether their customers are going to be okay and keep on giving them money, as well as investors. So it's a real mixed bag. It requires a lot of attention and hard work from venture capitalists. But what's interesting is that there are real opportunities out there. And I don't think people appreciate what a great time this is to invest. And we've seen at OurCrowd on our platform renewed interest from all over the world, including Australia, in a variety of the investment opportunities we offer.
Okay. I should ask you, though, I mean, is it fair that tech should have predicted this crisis? Well, let alone tried to be able to deal with it. I mean, should it have predicted this crisis?
Look, should governments have predicted the crisis? Should the medical establishment predicted the crisis? Nobody predicted it, and maybe Bill Gates came the closest, right? But the reality is that we've had pandemics now for 100 years, right? They come pretty regularly, and we should have seen this coming. But what's important at this point is not just dealing with this crisis, but realizing that this is unfortunately a byproduct of a connected world. Diseases can move at the speed of airplanes and people, and we have to be ready for not just this pandemic, but for the next one. And I think that we're woke now, and that the overall community is going to be much better equipped, whether it's a second or third wave of this COVID-19 or future pandemics, to deal with the challenges.
John, tell me about the race for a vaccine. When do you think the world will have a vaccine? And tell me a little bit about MigVax, because you are leading that funding, aren't you?
Yes, we are. Look, the race for the vaccine is probably the most important investment that I've ever made. I felt humbled to be investing in a company that I think has a good shot at really being one of the winners, because there's not going to be a single winner. There are going to be many vaccines and many companies. Right now, there are almost 100 different projects worldwide, and that's a good thing. It's one of these situations where even if we don't win, we win, because as long as there's a vaccine brought to the world, we all win. And so this ability to actually present investors with a double bottom line, the ability to both make money and to do good is really important. The company we're backing, MigVax, is already developed a coronavirus vaccine, believe it or not, for chickens. They were focusing on avian flu. They've been working on this for 4 years. And when they saw that the human coronavirus outbreak happened, they quickly sort of pivoted, started using bioinformatics, a lot of software and very, very high-tech tools to modify their vaccine. And we're very, very excited about it because, number one, it's an oral vaccine, doesn't require a shot, which means it'll work great not only in the industrialized world, but in the developing world where there's no refrigeration. It is a platform vaccine which handles mutations. They've already said that there are 39 known mutations of COVID-19. So we have to be ready for that. And we think our platform is ready. And in addition, it deals with a multiplicity of immunity types, both cellular, mucosal, and systemic immunity. It's a very interesting project. I'll tell you what I really remember is that my late grandmother used to say that chicken soup was like the Jewish penicillin. It made people better. And we're hoping that from this chicken soup of a chicken virus vaccine, Israel can feed its soup to the world and we can all get healthy.
So, and that's the Miguel Galilee Research Institute that is driving that. Just briefly on timing of that vaccine and indeed any vaccines, do you think the 18-month window is the fastest we can do this?
Look, I can't tell you. I hope it's faster, but I think it's realistic to be planning on that level. There was a report issued today about how the intelligence group at the Israeli Defense Forces are talking about by the end of 2021. No one really knows for sure. What I can tell you is that we hope to be in human testing in the summer. We're already in animals starting now. We've already got results on the prior vaccine for chickens, but there's a long road ahead. People should be patient. They should be staying at home, listening to the social distancing instructions, and learning to live with the virus until we can come with this vaccine. But the vaccine will come, God willing, and we hope that our project, MigVax, which we're inviting investors from around the world to come to our website at OurCrowd.com and to join us in investing in that and in other projects and companies that are in there on the front lines fighting the vaccine, because this period of just creativity and energy is really the positive part of all this. It's hard to see a silver lining in this crisis, but the fact that tech people are busy trying to fight and trying to make all of our lives better is a good thing, and we should all support that.
John Medved, great to hear from you again. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, Tiki.